Does anybody here love Christmas? I think it's my favorite, very, very favorite time of the year. And boys and girls, I want to thank all of you for coming up here and spending a few minutes with me on Christmas Eve. I would like very much to read to you a story about Christmas. Would that be okay with you guys? Okay. And listen, I'm going to read to you a story about Christmas from the Jesus Storybook Bible. That'd be good? Yeah? Okay. Well, let's get started. Here is a story called He's Here. Who do you think this story is about? I think you're right. Let's find out. The story is called He's Here. Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help His people, just as He had promised in the beginning. But how would God come? What would He be like? And what would He do? But how... Has somebody got a watch? Is that somebody's cell phone? Everybody check your phone.
Spirit, what is this confounded place you've brought me to now? Is this yet the past? Or is this a facsimile of the present?
Ebenezer Scrooge!
Aye, sir, and who be you?
I am Pastor Bob, and I'm here reading a story from the Bible with all of these boys and girls. What are you doing here?
I've been on many visits tonight. One spirit has visited. Are you the spirit I'm supposed to meet next, the spirit of Christmas present?
I'm the spirit of your interrupting our story.
Story.
He said humbug. Ebenezer Scrooge, don't you love Christmas?
Christmas? What good has Christmas ever done me? It's never put a shilling in my pocket.
Ebenezer Scrooge, these boys and girls love Christmas very much, and we're just about to have our Christmas story.
Christmas story, humbug.
Boys and
Humbug, I
girls,
say.
boys and girls, I think we should invite Ebenezer Scrooge to sit down and be quiet and listen to the story with us. What do you
children
think?
should be quiet. They should be seated.
You think so? Okay, Ebenezer, we would like to invite you to sit down and be quiet. That part's important, right, boys and girls? To sit down and be quiet and listen to our Christmas story. And then after the story, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Invite me for a story?
We want you to sit with us.
A children's story?
These are children. They're not dangerous for the most part. And you can sit with us and hear the story with us. Would that be okay, boys and girls? Let's just have, okay, sit down, Ebenezer. And then after the story, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, boys and girls, let Ebenezer come and join us. Boys and girls, have you ever met anyone that hated Christmas before? I don't think he likes Christmas. I don't think he does either. Well, I'll tell you what. Let Grinch, well, we're not going to talk about Grinch, because you remember. He doesn't come to church anymore. Okay, boys and girls, let's read the story, and we'll let Ebenezer read with us. Okay, everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help His people, just as He promised from the beginning. But how would He come? What would He be like? What would He do? Mountains would have bowed down. Seas would have roared, and trees would have clapped their hands, but the earth held its breath. As silent as snow falling, He came in. And when no one was looking, In the darkness, he came. You see, boys and girls, there was a young girl who was engaged to a man named Joseph. You see, Joseph was the great-great-great-great-great-grandson of King David. And one morning, this girl was minding her own business when suddenly a great warrior of light appeared in her bedroom, and his name was Gabriel. He was an angel. He was a special messenger from heaven. And when Mary saw the tall, shining man standing there, Mary was frightened. And Gabriel said, "Mary, you don't have to be afraid. God is very happy with you." Don't worry, that's right. So Mary looked around to see if perhaps the angel was talking to someone else. "Mary," Gabriel said, and then he laughed with such gladness that tears filled Mary's eyes. "Mary, you're going to have a baby, a little boy, and you will call his name Jesus. He is God's own son. He's the one. He's the rescuer. The God who flung planets into space and keeps them whirling around and around. The God who made the universe with just a word. The one who could do anything at all was making himself small and coming down as a baby. Wait! God was sending a baby to rescue the world? A baby? And it's wonderful! Mary felt her heart beating and said, "How can this be true? Is anything too wonderful for God?" Gabriel asked. So Mary trusted God more than with what her eyes could see, and she believed, and she said, "I am God's servant. Whatever God says, I will do." Sure enough, it was just as the angel had said. 9 months later, Mary was almost ready to have her baby. Now, Mary and Joseph had to take a trip to Bethlehem. It was a town that King David was from. But when they reached the little town, they found every room was full. Every bed was taken. "Go away," the innkeeper said. "There's no place for you." Where would they stay? Where would the baby be born? They couldn't find anywhere. You think right there? They couldn't find anywhere except an old, run-down stable. Boys and girls, does anybody know what a stable is? What? It's where animals live. Boys and girls, where were you born? Were y'all born in the hospital? Maybe like in a hospital or in a house, maybe? Who's born in a barn? Well, hey, let's see what happened next. The story says that there in the stable, among the chickens and the donkeys and the cows, in the quiet of the night, God gave the world his wonderful gift. You see the picture, boys and girls? Yeah, it was the baby that would change the world. It was his baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed of straw, and they used the animal's feeding trough, the manger, as his bed. They gazed in wonder at God's great gift, wrapped in swaddling clothes and laying in a manger. Mary and Joseph named him Jesus. Emmanuel, which means God has come down to live with us. Because of course he had. Boys and girls, isn't that a wonderful story about God coming down from heaven and being born as a baby named Jesus? Now, boys and girls, let me ask you 2 questions. Who is Christmas really all about? Jesus. Now, boys and girls, I want to ask you one more question. If you really, really, really believe, if you really, really, really believe that Christmas is about the birth of Jesus, would you raise your hand? If you really believe in Jesus, raise your hand. Boys and girls, look who raised his hand. Ebenezer. Do you believe that Jesus is the reason for Christmas?
I do.
Ebenezer, do you love Christmas now?
I think I can.
He loves Christmas. Ebenezer, would you help me with something, Ebenezer?
Oh, can I? Can I?
I have candy canes for all of these wonderful boys and girls. And Ebenezer, would you help me pass out the candy canes?
To give them away.
Yes, you don't sell them. You give a candy cane to each boy and girl. Would any of you like to have a candy cane, boys and girls? Well, let's get each one of you a candy cane. You already got one, right?
Oh, this feels so good to give.
Yes, doesn't
to give
it feel
things.
good to give? It's wonderful.
Oh,
yes.
no, take that one. You may have that one.
And boys and girls, while Ebenezer is passing out your candy cane, I want you to remember, a candy cane looks like the letter J because it reminds us of Jesus. And it looks like a shepherd's staff because it reminds us that Jesus is the good shepherd. And it's white because it reminds us that Jesus washes our sins as white as snow. And it's red because it reminds us that Jesus shed his blood on the cross to take away our sins. Did everybody get a candy cane? Have we still got somebody waiting? Everybody's got one? Boys and girls, thank you so much, all of you, for coming up and helping me. Ebenezer, thank you for helping us. Boys and girls, let's give a good clap for Ebenezer.